Hi everybody, it's Julia, your trusted travel expert from Matheson Travel, helping you find that je ne sais quoi wherever you are in the world. And this week, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some opportunities for domestic travel that I wanted to make sure are forefront in your mind. Because, I understand with the current climate, some people may be nervous about going abroad. I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm still planning several trips abroad this year, but just in case you are scared to leave the good old shores of the US of A, there's good news because we live in an incredibly diverse country with amazing national parks. And I wanted to talk to you about this today because I've actually just come from a meeting of one of my mother's travelers clubs that she's a part of, where they're studying the national parks in honor of the 100th anniversary, which was actually last year in 2016. But so I wanted to impress upon you that this country is incredibly diverse from one corner to the other. There are national parks all over, and they're actually usually very easily accessible. Now, some of them have amazing guided tours around them. Like if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am a big fan of Talc Tours, and they have a partnership with Ken Burns, who made this amazing documentary, The National Parks, America's Best Idea, which is really wonderful, and you should take a look at it when you get a chance. But so he's partnered with Talc to do organized tours around some of the major parks, notably in the Southwest and the West, Yellowstone, for example, which my family did, but also around the national parks around the Grand Canyon, which is fantastic, which I have some clients on a waiting list for. That's the big problem with organized tours to national parks, is that the good dates, the best dates, sell out really quickly, like 6-8 months in advance. So if you're not on the ball, you might be out of luck for staying in, some of those national park lodges that are old and historic and right in the park. But if you are a little late to the party, that's okay, because generally they're all very easily accessible, like I said earlier, independently. Maybe you won't be able to stay inside the park, and maybe you won't have, an amazing guide telling you everything there is to know, partnered with Ken Burns, for example, but you can still go, and there are great ranger-led programs and just great independent exploration, because let's face it, you go into some of these natural areas of wonder and it doesn't matter what the history of the place is, it's just stinking gorgeous, and it can really open your eyes and help you, step outside of yourself and realize, just how amazing this earth is and how lucky we are to be a part of it and to have the ability to go and see these places. So, whether you're going to, Acadia National Park in Maine, the Everglades in Florida, which is super unique and interesting, Olympic Park in Washington State, which is where I'm gonna go this summer and what we talked about today. And so I'm even more excited about it because I learned that it's easier to do. I thought I was going to have to take a whole week to go around that peninsula up there in Washington State, and I'm not going to. You can actually even do it as a day trip, a very long day trip, but a day trip from Seattle if you wanted to. Or, like I said, in the Southwest, besides the Grand Canyon, there are, 4 or 5 different parks in Utah alone that are just fascinating, and each one is individual and unique, which is surprising since they're very close together. So if you are worried about, leaving the shores of America for one reason or another, there are amazing places in the country that you can go see. And that's something, travel doesn't have to be somewhere exotic and somewhere far away. It can even be a couple hours from your house. I know down in South Carolina, there's Congaree National Park, which my mom's club is going to be studying next week. And that's a really neat wetlands kind of area in the middle of South Carolina. Who knew? So just keep that in mind, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.